Joliet, so pretty warm in comparison to where we have been. But again, once you factor in the breeze, it still feels very, very cold. We're feeling like 2 degrees at O'Hare, 5 in Gary, wind chill of -1 in Valparaiso, same thing in Waukegan. Here's some good news, though. This is where we're headed. Still very cold the next couple of days, but next week, we actually have a chance of seeing temperatures that are rising back up into the 30s, maybe even mid to upper 30s by the end of next week. We'll have details coming up.
There's a spa owner out in the suburbs facing felony charges. Prosecutors say he used hidden cameras to record clients.
And this is all just coming to light, but the charges have been in the works for some time. Casey Cronus is live in Hinsdale with the latest on what we know. Casey?
The police chief here in Hinsdale tells us detectives have been working this case for more than a year, identifying at least 60 victims who were unknowingly and illegally recorded. Reflection Spa is owned by 51-year-old Jason Spencer, who's been charged with 5 felony counts of unauthorized videotaping. Located near First and Washington on the 2nd floor of the commercial space, police say they were tipped off to a possible hidden camera in December of 2024. Officers then found hidden cameras in treatment rooms, along with a recording device and a hard drive. Police Chief Brian King says detectives spent months combing through video and interviewing hundreds of customers. He shares that the victims had no idea they were being filmed. The spa offers massages, waxing services, and other body treatments. Police say no other crimes were committed at the business. Hinsdale Village President Greg Hart says when this all came to light, they did not renew the spa's license, which expired last month. Cybercrime expert Detective Rich Wistocki weighed in with tips on how to identify cameras when you are in a private setting.
If you see a flashing light, a lot of times they'll put black tape on it. A lot of times they'll cover it with black paint right before you get changed. Just say, I need a little bit of time to get changed. And so you look in the vents, you look in the sprinkler system, you look at the smoke detectors, you look at the outlets.
Wistocki also says there are devices you can buy online that can detect hidden cameras. As for Spencer, he is not being held in jail but is due back in court next month. We are waiting on a statement from either him or his attorney in response to the criminal allegations. Reporting live in Hinsdale, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Casey. And new here at 4, we're learning more about that deadly Downers Grove apartment fire that took the life of a pregnant woman.
Court documents say she was stabbed 70 times. Leslie Moreno is live with details. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, according to those court documents, the 30-year-old mother and the suspect met to finalize a truck sale. The suspect initially denied any involvement, then later confessed to the killing, saying he was angry about the condition of the truck. 19-year-old Netis Revukas appeared in court this morning. He's being charged with first-degree murder in connection to the death of 30-year-old Eliza Morales of Downers Grove. Police say the fire was reported just after 6 p.m. on Monday along the 2300 block of Ogden Avenue. Investigators say the fire was intentionally set in the kitchen stove and the front door. Prosecutors say the fire was started after the stabbing. Revukas confessed to starting the fire, destroying her phone, and dumping evidence in multiple locations. During the attack, Eliza allegedly told him she was pregnant. Prosecutors say the unborn child died due to the mother's fatal injuries. After the fire, Revukas allegedly changed his bloody clothes at a nearby Ace Hardware. That's where he also got rid of some evidence. Court documents also suggest Eliza was still alive when the fire was set and tried to escape. Prosecutors also say the family dog was stabbed between the eyes. It did manage to escape during the fire and survived. Eliza leaves behind a husband and a 2-year-old daughter. We'll have all of these details on fox32chicago.com. For now, reporting live here in Downers Grove, Leslie Moreno, Fox Chicago.
All right, thanks for that, Leslie. We have breaking news to tell you about. The officers involved in Alex Pretty's shooting in Minneapolis have now been placed on leave.
Meanwhile, the president and Minneapolis leaders are going back and forth over everything that's happened. And Minneapolis has what happened today.
I don't care who you are, get back in your vehicle. Despite efforts to ease tensions, ICE operations and confrontations continue in the Twin Cities, with at least one person getting pepper sprayed and another detained.
Tom Homan there now, we put him in there, he's great. And they met with the governor, the mayor, everybody else, and we're going to de-escalate a little bit.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says those meetings were productive, while stressing his city will not enforce federal immigration law. That prompted a strong reaction from the president, who accused him of, quote, playing with fire.
That's certainly a step in the wrong direction. We want that state and local cooperation to allow us to take criminal illegal aliens from the jails once they've served time, and so they're not re-let out back into Minnesota.
Frey then responded to that post, writing, quote, the job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration laws. All this as the city remains on edge after police arrested and charged a man after he sprayed Congresswoman Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance during a town hall Tuesday night. While she appeared shaken and angry, Omar wasn't hurt.
And what happened to her is an outrage.
Looming over it all on Capitol Hill, some Democrats upset over the recent shootings in Minnesota are threatening a government shutdown if Republicans don't separate DHS funding from a larger spending package. Investigations into those shootings are now underway, with DHS confirming to Fox 2 CBP agents involved in the Alex Preddy incident over the weekend are now on administrative leave, which they say is standard procedure. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox Chicago.
Mayor Johnson is vowing to hold ICE agents accountable for criminal conduct, saying there is, quote, no such thing as absolute immunity in America.
This is not about politics. This is about a more fundamental idea that in our country, nobody is above the law. There's no such thing as absolute immunity in America. If you commit a crime, you should be tried like anyone else, regardless of the badge on your chest or the mask that's on your face.
Mayor Johnson is in the nation's capital for the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting. He sat down with the National Press Club this afternoon, and Johnson says Chicago is on the forefront to be a blueprint on how to push back against the Trump administration's militarized immigration raids.
The Fed just decided to keep interest rates right where they are. That means your loans, your mortgage, your credit cards all stay at the same rates. And the stock market didn't really do much with that news. The S&P went down less than 0.1%. The Dow stayed put and the NASDAQ went up a little bit. So there's a lot of tension behind the Fed's decision. President Trump has been pushing Jerome Powell to cut faster, and he's not happy about it. Trump even gave Powell a nickname, Too Late Jerome. He says Powell wants to keep rates as high as possible. But the Fed isn't budging. They cut rates 3 times last year. Now they're pausing. Powell says the economy is strong, growth is solid, but there's still one thing holding them back. Here's how he explained where inflation stands right now.
Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer run goal.
This is one of Powell's last meetings as Fed chair. His term ends May 15th. President Trump says he could name a replacement as early as this week, and he's promising that new chair will bring rates down. The next meeting is in March.
Illinois is taking a big step forward for health care access and reproductive rights. The governor announcing the launch of the Prairie State Access Fund, a public-private partnership to build a more connected reproductive access system. It is a new initiative from the Michael Reese Health Trust and private donors. This fund will connect donor support to organizations already protecting access to care. Donations will help clinics across Illinois remain open.
The Prairie State Access Fund will help ensure Illinois continues to be able to meet the needs of our residents and anyone who crosses state borders to seek care here because they're not able to access the health care services they need in their home state.
Governor Pritzker adds that today's actions send a message that Illinois trusts women to make their own decisions about their bodies.
The Chicago Board of Elections rejected a referendum 2 weeks ago. Community activists wanted it on the March primary ballot so voters could weigh in on a $9 billion quantum computing campus planned for the Southside. Those activists aren't backing down, though. They shifted their focus to November. At a rally today, they asked people to back a new ballot measure. This one will let voters decide if the microelectronics park under construction on the old U.S. Steel site should be relocated. The activists say they want grocery stores there instead, housing, maybe youth centers.
We don't need a quantum facility in our community. We don't need a data center in our community. We need spaces for youth where activities can be held, spaces where people can congregate and learn about job opportunities.
A lot. That's their side of it. The Board of Elections said no to the March ballot because they say the language was confusing and ambiguous.
Promising to fight back against the Trump administration, a Chicago alderman has officially announced his bid for Congress.
This campaign isn't about winning an election or a career. This is about building the movement that will transform a baseline standard of dignity for the people in our community, working families, seniors, teachers, federal workers, all working people.
25th Ward Alderman Byron Sichko-Lopez is running as an independent to replace retiring U.S. Representative Jesus Chuy Garcia. Sichko-Lopez was first elected in 2019. He currently chairs the City Council's Committee on Housing and Real Estate. He is running as an independent because Garcia announced that he was not going to be running just hours before the filing deadline. His chief of staff, Patty Garcia, is running unopposed for the Democratic primary on March 17th.
Breaking news, as you know, Indiana is trying to get the Chicago Bears to move. The state Senate just passed a bill that sets up the money side of building a stadium in Northwest Indiana. The Indy Star says that Senate Bill 27 passed 46-2. What it does is create the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority. That's the group that would help pay for an NFL stadium. The bill still needs to pass the Indiana House and get signed by Governor Mike Braun. Illinois employers could face fines soon for something they're doing right now. What it is coming up.
Called it a nationwide baby shower. The Trump administration's unveiling details on the new savings accounts for newborns. Is your family eligible?
Allegations of censorship have made TikTok a major hashtag in national debates.
We continue to get your calls and messages about your high NIPSCO bills. And while Indiana lawmakers are debating how they're going to give you relief in Indianapolis, we're going to show you why one man says he's this close to moving back to Illinois.
Fox 32 News is brought to you by
We continue to get your calls and messages about your high NIPSCO bills.
We spoke with one man today who said he is on the verge of moving back to Illinois.
Brett Baganski's live in Merrillville. Brett, he's one of the many people who are fed up.
And we even heard from lawmakers yesterday calling this an affordability crisis, and it's the big reason why several people are planning to be out here 1 week from today in protest of their high NIPSCO bills. So where we're standing right now is outside the corporate headquarters for NIPSCO, and there's another planned protest for this Sunday at their regional office in Hammond, Indiana. So this is the reason why. So take a look at some of these bills that many of our Northwest Indiana viewers have been giving Fox Chicago. You got one for almost $900 and another one where the delivery charges are more than the actual gas that they use. And so earlier today we spoke with Lucas Gallup from Maryville, who was on his way to work overnights at Walmart. He has an apartment with his fiance and 2 kids, so they pay about $1,500 a month in rent. The recent NIPSCO bill was more than $500, and he said in November it was around $120. So Gallup told me they moved to Indiana because he thought they would be able to save money, but now they're on the verge of moving back to Illinois.
It's just, and like finding a new place isn't exactly a calm situation to be in either. Like you're going through all these application fees and this process, and then hoping places get back to you. And until then, I'm stuck paying this bill that's way overpriced and putting me in a position where I don't know if I can feed my family.
This is a similar message we got from many people who live in Northwest Indiana. I reached out to NIPSCO once again for comment about everything going on. I'm still waiting to hear back, but on the same day that there's a planned protest outside of here at Maryville, Indiana, earlier that morning, there's going to be a regulatory hearing against NIPSCO in Indianapolis. That meeting is scheduled for 9:30 in the morning, where they're going to be talking about their billing practices. We're live in Maryville tonight. Brett Baganski, Fox Chicago.
All right, Brett, thanks so much. It is sunny, it's bright, but it's still very much cold. Sun's going down. She's been working overtime today, to no avail, though.
Well, I was going to say, we have not been feeling her, have we?
Her hard work really has not been paying off the last couple of days. It's been very cold.
Clock out, girl, clock out.
Yes. Well, stick around, though, because we still like to see her.
True.
And we'll get a chance again tomorrow, too. But still, temps not looking so great. We're in the teens right now. That's where your high temperatures are going to stay for the next couple of days. It's 16 degrees at O'Hare, 14 in Waukegan. We're at 16 in DeKalb, 17 in Chicago Heights. Same thing in Maryville. It is now 15 in Valparaiso. But it's gusty, too. So we have wind chill temperatures for a lot of us that are sitting pretty close to zero. Futurecast temperatures taking us throughout the next few hours here, dropping back down to the single digits by about 8 or 9 p.m. And then throughout the overnight, a lot of us are going to see our low temperatures once again approaching zero, if not falling a couple of degrees below zero for our far north and northwest suburbs. So again, it's going to be very cold tonight. Wind chills 5 to 15 degrees below zero. Through the day tomorrow, we're going to have some sunshine once again, a little bit of lake effect cloud cover over in Porter and LaPorte County. Otherwise, I think we're going to be another sunny day. But again, temperatures, they stay cold tomorrow in the teens. For tonight, 1 degree, wind chills 5 to 15 degrees below zero because of northwesterly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Your 5-day forecast here, we're looking at sunshine tomorrow, a high of 14, 18 degrees on Friday. Thursday night into Friday, that's when we're going to start to see the lake effect firing back up. So it's initially going to develop in northwest Indiana, then swing over into northeast Illinois during the day on Friday, and then take aim once again at northwest Indiana Friday afternoon and evening. And then that's going to continue into Saturday as well. But temperatures early next week, we are finally close to 30. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Emily. Chicagoans are getting ready to vote in the city's 4th annual Snowplow naming contest.
And one name's really dominating right now. They pulled in more than 13,000 names total. Out of all of those, abolish ICE is what most people submitted. Block Club Chicago says it leads with 70%. Now, Mayor Johnson, he said he's cool with it. He posted about it last month. And clearly, a lot of you feel a way about immigration enforcement because Icebreaker and ICE Be Gone made the list, too. Voting open Sunday, the top 6 win. We'll be right back.
This is
Civilian Review Board in Elgin says a cop should be fired for an anti-immigrant message he posted about ICE on Facebook. The board called what Officer Jason Lentz wrote malicious and inflammatory. On October 5th, Lentz, who's been with the department for 28 years, posted on Facebook he stood with ICE and suggested agents check several local businesses for immigrants. He's been on leave since the department found out about it. The board announced this recommendation Tuesday night. The police chief told the Tribune they haven't made a decision yet.
Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth gets into a war of words with the U.S. Secretary of State.
Yeah, she and Marco Rubio went at it during a Senate hearing today. Political reporter Paris Schutz has more on what became a fiery exchange.
Very fiery exchange that got the attention of the vice president, who later tweeted about it. We'll get to that in a second. But Duckworth tried to corner Rubio on President Trump's strategy in Venezuela and whether or not the U.S. is at war. Duckworth repeatedly asked Rubio about the president invoking the Alien Enemies Act. That's something that's been done only a handful of times in U.S. history. But this was done as a pretext to conduct mass deportation and raids along the border.
These groups have waged war on the United States. They have waged, for example, Trinidad is not just a criminal gang presence in our street. It is a criminal gang directly responsible for narco trafficking.
The Trump administration has acknowledged that the vast majority of the men it rounded up and deported to torture under this law had no criminal records whatsoever.
We didn't torture anybody.
Over 75%.
Who did we torture? We haven't tortured anybody. We've arrested people that are members of gangs and we've deported them. We don't want gang members in our country.
Have found that many of the men were here legally. If the administration is willing to lie about who it's targeting under this law, what protections do totally innocent people have against abuse? Again, I want to ask you, will you advise the president to rescind his invocation of the Wartime Alien Enemies Act?
No, of course not. I mean, these are people that are threats to the national security of the United States.
Now, Rubio appeared before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee today. Although immigration and deportation are typically under the purview of the Department of Homeland Security, Duckworth was talking about the Secretary of State's role in deporting U.S. residents to foreign detention centers like in El Salvador. Now, the exchange drew a comment from the U.S. Vice President in an attempt at humor. J.D. Vance tweeted, quote, "Watching Tammy Duckworth obsessively interrupt Marco Rubio during this hearing is like watching Forrest Gump argue with Isaac Newton." Duckworth then had a response to that on Twitter. But also today, the Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer revealed a list of revisions that his party would like to see to DHS to get Democratic votes onto a funding package. Namely, he wants to see immigration agents unmasked with IDs visible and targeted enforcement with mandatory warrants. Instead of the wide-open kind of enforcement that we've seen so far. No agreement on that funding by Friday, and then a partial...
Get sued for something that's legal right now.
What a new bill would punish and why workers say it's overdue.
It's starting the day with hope. Knowing you're in the right place. Having access to advanced treatments and the most experienced cancer experts. When you're facing cancer, it's not just one thing that makes the difference. It's everything. The big, the small, the unexpected that helps you keep moving forward. Advocate Healthcare. Cancer care that makes the difference.
Right now at 4:30, your baby could qualify for $1,000 with a Trump account. What parents should know before enrolling.
And workers and unions standing together to get better protections for all of you who work in dangerous conditions. Speaking of, it is quite dangerously cold out there, has been for the past couple days. Relief is on the way, but the cold still has us in the grips.
Yes, it does. The next couple of days, we're staying very cold. Overnight low temperatures down to near zero, wind chill temperatures below zero, and daytime highs that are only going to be in the teens. But then over the weekend, we're going to start to see temperatures rising a bit. But before we can get to the weekend, we actually have another lake effect event that is going to be unfolding Thursday night, likely lasting through Saturday. So we could be seeing accumulating snowfall for lake adjacent counties. That is basically from Lake County in Northeast Illinois down through Cook, and then of course rounding the lake into Lake Porter and LaPorte counties. Temperatures right now sitting in the teens. Tonight we're dropping down to near zero again. Wind chill temperatures are going down to about 5 to 15 degrees below zero. Your 3-day forecast, sunny skies on Thursday, 14 degrees. Again, lake effect snow develops Thursday night into early Friday. That's going to last through the day on Friday, even into Saturday. But this weekend, we finally have temperatures returning to the 20s.
Right now in Illinois, people are going to work in freezing cold and dangerous heat, and there's no state rules protecting them from extreme temperatures. So workers and unions just launched a campaign to change that. They're backing a bill they say is basic, human, and long overdue. The bill is called the Workplace Extreme Temperature Safety Act, or HB 3762. We talked about this Friday night. What it does is make employers have real plans for when temperatures get dangerous. That means water when it's hot, warming areas when it's cold, policies that match the job, because there's no standard in Illinois right now. Some workers have to tough it out, even when it puts their health at risk. And the numbers back that up. According to federal data, between 2011 and 2020, more than 33,000 work-related heat injuries and illnesses resulted in days away from work. And supporters say with climate extremes getting worse, this cannot wait. One of the people leading this push knows the risk firsthand.
Before I started at Chicago Jobs with Justice, I was working in the freezers at Walmart. I was working in freezers without PPE that fit me, with gloves that had holes in it, and with no one that cared how long I was in there, how many days in a row I was in there, how many shifts I took in the freezer. So this is personal for me.
The bill would set a statewide floor so no worker has to choose between a paycheck and their health. And there's teeth to it. The bill includes penalties for violations. Employers could face fines and civil lawsuits if they don't comply. It also protects workers who speak up. Employees could refuse to work if they believe conditions are too dangerous, and they cannot be punished for it. Still, the bill could face opposition. Backers say they're pushing to pass it this session in Springfield.
Faith leaders are continuing to push for peace on CTA trains. They're partnering with violence interrupters to form a public safety task force to help keep riders safe. Leaders rode downtown on the Blue Line this morning to pray for peace and pass out safety tips to riders, urging people to speak up about any violent incidents that they may witness, and calling on elected officials to support their grassroots prevention methods.
Safety is a priority. We recognize and we know, we've been hearing about the violence going down, but I'm going to tell you, one violent incident is one too many. And what violence interrupters is about intervention. We need their presence on these lines.
Last month, the CTA launched a new security surge plan, deploying additional Chicago police officers and private canine security guards across the public transit system.
A mother living in subsidized housing says unsafe conditions inside her apartment have gone unaddressed for months.
She walked the Fox Chicago crew through the safety concerns inside her apartment. Tia is here with her story. Tia.
So in this video, Sylvia and Terrence, you will see our crew masked up. That's because inside she told us we would encounter mold and some other issues. Nicole Les didn't want her full name used, but she did want her voice heard. A mother of 4 young kids in low-income housing, she says the conditions inside her Albany Park apartment are putting her family's health and safety at risk.
Here it is again. The ceiling is completely leaking. It's coming all the way down here. So all the air peeps through. You gotta... Now it's coming up here.
So keep watching. A trash bag covers a gaping hole above the apartment's only shower. That's a temporary fix, she says. That's been left in place. The apartment is on the 4800 block of North Avers. Nicole showed us the main door inside the unit doesn't close properly, allowing cold air and drafts right on inside. She also points to mold in the bathroom, which she says has triggered asthma attacks and allergic reactions in her young daughter. Nicole handed over emails dating back to July of 2025 showing repeated repair requests and a back and forth with maintenance. She says she has also asked to be transferred to a safer unit, but because she does not have a housing voucher, that will require an internal transfer. Nicole says that simply hasn't happened. What would you say to somebody that might say, why not move?
Where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to go? Like, it's emotional because I do want to go. I want to leave.
Now, the management company told Fox Chicago it could not comment and directed us to contact the Chicago Housing Authority. Of course, we have reached out to CHA and are waiting for a response. This is a story we will stay on top of. Sylvia and Terrence.
Okay, thanks, Tia. Is TikTok violating the law? California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's launching a review into whether that's the case. It comes as users have reported anti-ICE content and videos related to Jeffrey Epstein are now being suppressed by that app. And this comes just days after the platform averted a nationwide ban by finalizing a U.S. ownership deal that was backed by President Trump. In the meantime, TikTok is responding to the censorship allegations, blaming issues on app glitches caused by power outages. A data privacy expert we spoke to says now that the company is U.S. owned, privacy laws require them to reveal what data they are collecting and how that data is used, including for content moderation and potential criminal cases.
They're collecting your immigration status. They're collecting your sexual orientation. They're collecting your demographics, hobbies, everything about you. They know. They're tracking your location. We've always theorized it, and we kind of knew, but didn't know. Well, now it's out there in the open. People are seeing it.
California State Senator Scott Wiener says a TikTok video he posted on Monday morning criticizing ICE and mentioning the Minneapolis shooting received 0 views. He has nearly 50,000 followers. He says that has never happened, and he believes TikTok is suppressing criticisms of ICE.
Live Nation and Ticketmaster got hit with a lawsuit. The claim is they're monopolizing the live concert industry. The Senate Commerce Committee started investigating unfair ticketing practices. Kid Rock testified today about ticket problems. He says the economic foundation that used to support artists is crumbling.
Independent venues have been crushed. Artists have lost leverage. Fans are paying more than ever and getting blamed for it.
Last month, the president signed an executive order in an attempt to protect fans from ticket scalping.
President Trump officially launching his new Trump accounts today. They're available to all American babies born between January of last year and the end of his current term. The goal is for the investments to grow with the child. Accounts will officially open for initial deposits on July 4th of this year. The president says there is an opportunity for these accounts to reach $300,000 by the child's 18th birthday. The funds will be invested in the stock market by private firms.
This is what Donald Trump and his cronies think about your benefits, America. They want to privatize them. They want to give it over to Wall Street. They want to eliminate a bedrock of this country, Social Security.
It gives young children that start out with really nothing, and it gives them, boy, it's more money than anybody could imagine.
Eligible families can open an account when they file their 2025 income taxes. Several major corporations have also pledged to match employee contributions.
You hit a pothole last week and it probably cost you $300.
While researchers say they have figured out how to stop roads from cracking in the first place, what they are now mixing into the pavement so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
We're layered up and still cold, but animals at the Lincoln Park Zoo are outside like it's nothing. What they know that we don't, their secret to staying warm next.
Save big money on everything you need.
It's not just people. The sub-freezing temperatures are also affecting some aquarium and zoo animals,
including the Magellanic penguins. They call the Shed Aquarium home right now. These penguins are native to the South American region of Patagonia, where temperatures range around 50 to 70 degrees. Officials at the Shed tell us the penguins and all of their residents are nice and warm inside.
How cold is too cold, even for polar bears and penguins? Joining us is Cassie Cute-Elect, the curator of large mammals and carnivores at Lincoln Park Zoo. She is outside braving the temperatures for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so, I mean, we expect penguins and polar bears to like this kind of weather, but is there a point where it's even too much for them?
Oh, no. I mean, polar bears, they live in the Arctic region where it can hit -30, -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And they've got so many acclimations. They've got extra fur. They've got a thick layer of blubber. So they are set up very well for this kind of temperature. The female polar bear Tellini, who lives here at Lincoln Park Zoo, she's been out enjoying this weather and has just been loving it.
Okay, so we go to the zoo, we'll see her, but what are some of the other zoo animals that enjoy the outdoors as well that maybe we don't expect? So if we come visit you, which one of them will we actually see? Are there any that we might think, wow, I didn't know they like this cold?
So we actually had our African lions out today, and the benefit of having this amazing Pepper Family Wildlife building is that we were able to install heated rocks. And so while you typically wouldn't see African lions out in these kinds of temperatures, the ability that these rocks give them is to be outside in all sorts of temperatures. Obviously, we have temperature guidelines that we have, so if it's under, a certain point, we won't have them out. But these heated rocks, the ability to go inside whenever they want to, really affords us a lot of opportunities that maybe would be missed otherwise. Our seals are outside. Heated rocks up to about 90 degrees, and they adore them.
Oh, wow. Okay,
But
get
yeah.
a little nosy now, because, us humans, when it's cold outside, we like to be inside and cuddle and, bound chicken wow. What about the animals? Do they like a little indoor cozy activity, mating seasons, maybe?
What's going on in there, huh?
I mean, we typically don't see any bow chicka wah wah around this time of year. But definitely some of our other species, our giraffe are inside, our Red River hogs are hanging out inside. But you can see a lot of our giraffe inside if you go to Regenstein African Journey. And so just for the human aspect, you're welcome to come to the zoo and hang out in any of our buildings that are heated to a lot warmer temperatures.
Oh, thank you for playing with us. We appreciate you. Okay, so you obviously take the warm weather animals inside, but what exactly does that involve? So how do you prepare for winter? This must be a big to-do, but something you guys are used to by now.
I mean, we live in Chicago, right? So you have to take the good with the bad, the heat with the cold. And so one day it's going to be 60 degrees. The next day it feels like it's -60 sometimes. And so we're prepared for all sorts of weather events. For some of our warmer weather guys, we just make sure that our areas are buttoned up as much as they can be. We like to make sure that we've got a bunch of extra enrichment to keep them mentally stimulated. And then obviously, when the weather does break, give them as much outside time as we can. Just going back to the giraffes as a good example, when we hit about 50 degrees, we like to get them outside to get their zoomies out. Our plain zebra, they're kind of the same way. They've got a much lower threshold, so once it hits 18 for them, they can go outside and get the jitters out, if you will.
Well, Cassie, thank you so much. You go back inside and get the cold jitters off of you. Really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. This was a lot of fun.
It is now an official
Have a great day, guys.
We now have the official scientific term about chicka wow.
Exactly. We heard it right from her. Okay.
We'll put it in the book.
Let's price check a rock, a heater rock, everyone.
There you go.
Okay, every winter the same thing. Potholes wreck your alignment, they drain your wallet. Well, researchers are now putting in pavement that can end all of that.
And right now, here's a look at your trip home. Ooh, 84, look at that.
energy is back.
Years ago today, Space Shuttle Challenger exploded just 73 seconds after liftoff. It is one of those moments that you remember exactly where you were when it happened. All 7 crew members died, including a school teacher, Krista McCullough. TVs had been rolled into classrooms across the country so students could watch, never expecting the tragedy. An investigation later found that a gasket malfunctioned because of cold temperatures. Back here now, potholes, as we all know, can be pretty bad this time of year.
Oh, yeah, you know how it goes. Water gets in the cracks, freezes, expands, and tears up the road. Well, researchers in Arizona think they found a way to stop that. They built a new kind of pavement that keeps potholes from forming in the first place. The way it works, they say, is simple. They mix a dry gel into the asphalt. The gel keeps the asphalt stable when temperatures swing. So they decided to test it out. Right now, there's a stretch of Highway 60 in Arizona with this new pavement on it. They're also trying it somewhere else in the state to see if it can stop ice from forming. Here's the lead researcher.
The benefits that you can get out of it is the less maintenance that you have to deal with. Traffic congestions. So we are expecting a longer service life of these roadways, less black ice. So that translates to highway safety, to better roadways for users, and potentially much less traffic accidents related to ice conditions.
Interesting. The test is still going, but if the results hold up, this pavement could end up on roads all over the country.
Yeah. Testing that in the Midwest.
Right?
Thank you.
Yes. We have so many more temp fluctuations. Yes.
Arizona of all places. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I hope it works.
Yeah,
because
me too.
It would be a really nice solution.
Save a lot of people a lot of money. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. How many times? My first year here, 2020, 2021, I went through 6 tires, maybe.
Oh, my goodness.
Just because you can't, these potholes, some of them you cannot avoid.
I'm the person, though, that, I will wait to get in the next lane over to avoid it if I need to.
So you're going to cause an accident is what you're saying. Yeah. And then you ended up getting rid of the car. You were like, never mind.
Done. Not worth it.
Yeah. So, all right, accident causer and just, you gave up. You gave up on us.
Yep.
I'm a quitter.
Well, you know, I think all of us are ready to quit this winter about now. It's been very cold. We have temperatures out there right now that are sitting in the teens. It is 20 degrees in Joliet, 16 at O'Hare, 19 degrees in Gary. We're now at 14 in Waukegan, same thing in Woodstock. Of course, it feels a lot colder than that because we have gusty winds, so that's sending your wind chill temperatures down into the single digits. It feels like 0 currently in Woodstock, 1 below in Waukegan. Also feeling like 1 degree below 0 in Valparaiso. We have a wind chill of 8 at the Chicago lakefront, 5 in Morris, 11 in Joliet, and it's feeling like 2 currently at O'Hare. Here's where we're headed over the next couple of days. So Thursday and Friday, we're still cold, going to be in the teens, way below average. Your average high for this time of the year is right around 31 degrees tomorrow. That's going to jump to 32. And then notice over the weekend, we finally start to see some slightly warmer air building in, but we're still colder than average in the 20s. We're going to be right around 30 by Monday. And then I do think by the middle of next week, we should be pretty close to what's considered to be average, which is going to put us in the lower 30s. So your temperature outlook, this is for the first week of February, actually the 3rd through the 7th. And you can notice here that we're kind of in a transition zone between the cold air and that warmer air that's off to our west. So that's kind of a sign of things to come, that we do have a couple days on the way next week that could end up being warmer than average, so something to look forward to. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now, but that is going to change later on this week. That's thanks to lake effect that's going to be developing late Thursday, lasting into Friday, likely into Saturday as well. We have high pressure that's going to move through the region tomorrow, and then the wind direction is going to change going into Thursday night. So watch how that lake effect really begins to fire up, and then it's going to be pushed to the west into northeast Illinois by early on Friday. So that's going to continue through the day on Friday, likely bringing impacts to your Friday morning commute. That's going to last into the evening hours and then swing back over into northwest Indiana and then stay there going into the upcoming weekend. So we could be seeing some pretty decent totals from this. What it's going to come down to is how long does that lake effect band park itself over the same exact area. So that's still a forecast that we have to fine tune, but just know if you're in one of the lake adjacent counties, so Lake County, Illinois, Lake County, Indiana, Cook County, of course, Porter, LaPorte, we are going to be dealing with some lake effect snow late this week, especially Friday into Saturday. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, 14 degrees, sunny skies, 18 on Friday. Saturday, we still have that snow coming down. Temperatures are in the 20s over the weekend. And then next week, we are counting on temperatures that are going to be pretty close to that freezing mark. I don't think we're going to thaw out just yet, but we'll come close to it on Tuesday. We'll be right back.
What's your case worth?
Welcome back. Some parents are going old school when they give their children phone time.
Yeah, they're gifting them landline phones instead of cell phones.
Okay, and while a lot of landline phones are obsolete, a new company is making this possible.
I remember having one of these.
Yeah.
Tin Can is a phone that works off Wi-Fi. It doesn't have apps or even texting. You just set up the phone with approved phone numbers and gift it to your child. And parents say it's giving kids the chance to talk to their friends like they did back in the day when they'd spend hours after school tying up phone lines and chit-chatting with their besties.
When you had to talk to your friend's parents, actually, to get to them. Yeah, to get to them.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's busy. She's doing homework. You've seen those snow cream videos everywhere, right, on social media. It's just snow mixed with sugar, milk, and vanilla, a bowl. You whip it outside.
I want to try this. Yeah, well, next time it snows here and you want to try it, wait until the storm has been going for a while.
Doctors say the first snow that falls pulls the most junk out of the air. So grab it from somewhere clean, not the street, not near plows, not anywhere salt touched, and you know where else you don't want to touch. And if you live near factories or coal plants, experts say your air's dirty, so it's likely your snow is dirty as well. People are also making something called sugar on snow. It's like a taffy. You pour hot maple syrup over snow, and then it hardens up.
That's not what I had in mind.
No?
I saw the people put the bowl, they stick it in the snow, keep it in place, and they put the milk and all that in. They didn't use snow.
Oh, they
used the actual materials to make ice cream. That's what I and keep it going faster.
Safer.
That's what I like.
That sounds way less dirty. Kevin Durant just turned years of ashy leg jokes into a whole paycheck with a skincare brand.
Bro, KD, please put some lotion on your legs, dog. Why are you actually watching my legs so closely? No way KD can be that ashy. No way. LOL. OMG. It was a skin incident. My legs went viral. It's all good. Going to be the first NBA player with a lotion deal.
Oh, that's right. Get that money, player. That was him reading tweets about his dry ankles for an ad with Sarah B. Yesterday, he announced the partnership. The whole video you see was part of the deal. Now, if you're not in on the joke, people have been clowning him since 2021 with a photo of his legs went viral. Mind you, fans literally chanted, "You need lotion" at him during a game.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Listen, he's 37 years old, averaging 26.4 points a game for the Houston Rockets this season, so haters hate on.
And continue. He's going to the bank with this now.
That's true. But when you look, you've ever seen like those Earth pictures and you look down, you can kind of see the... That's what his ankles look like.
That bad?
It was that bad.
They look like terrain?
It was, yes.
You know
like
I can't talk.
It was bad. Me either, but I think I might...